Hello, I'm Spencer, and FBC Firebreak a month later is still tedious to play. And that's unfortunate because this is Remedy Entertainment's first foray into a multiplayer game, a multiplayer co-op game. One of the reasons that the game is tedious is that it doesn't do a very good job of explaining to players what it is that they're doing, what is the main objective with this game. And one of the things that they added was this new introduction video, which you can see here, it's playing right now, that they do this cutesy little like puppet show thing. It's kind of cool, it's kind of funny that they're presenting the information in this way. But they have this little intro video that explains what the game is about on a very like surface level sort of way, not getting into mechanics or anything like that, just a summary of what's happening. And it does a decent enough job of describing basically what the game is. What this leads to is a lot of people wandering around confused, unsure where they're supposed to go or what they're supposed to do. Like here, for example, I was stuck in this area. I kept trying to get out. I kept trying to explode these pink blob things, and I just could not clear them fast enough to get through. I eventually do get out, but you end up stuck in these areas where there's obstacles in the way or there's a ton of enemies constantly coming at you, and because your reload speed is so slow and everything else is so slow, you're not able to take care of a lot of enemies all at once. I felt bad for the two people that I was playing with because I went down, or those two went down, and I was still up, but I didn't know where I was going or how to get out of this area, so they were just sitting there waiting, and there were 0 redeploys left, so they had to wait for the timer to count down so that they could redeploy again. You end up spending a lot of time downed like this, either waiting for one of your teammates to come revive you or waiting for that countdown timer so that you can redeploy. On top of that, you end up spending a lot of time in front of a sink using it so that you can heal. You end up spending a lot of time here doing this little mini game picking up ammo or picking up individual ammo packs on the ground, which takes a long time to do. I can't tell you how many times on this hot furnace level we had to go back and forth fixing these fans. You gotta go over there, you have to fix the generator so that it's working, and then you need to charge the generator, and then you need to go into the fan and fix the whatever control panel that's in there. And because there were a bunch of enemies coming at you all the time, and people were going down, and people were like getting burned up because heat is something that accumulates on this level, and if it gets too high you'll start burning and then you'll get downed. And it just made everything take so long. This level took almost an hour to complete, which is just ridiculous. And a lot of players seem to be confused about this game. Like there have been so many times just in this one level where I would see somebody by themselves just kind of like standing in a corner or in some area of the map. They're not fixing anything, they're not charging anything, they're not doing anything, and they just seem to be lost. Like they're not sure where they are or what's going on or what they're supposed to be doing. And that's like very prevalent in this game. Everybody just seems to be very confused. People are walking around grasping at straws trying to figure out what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to do it. It's like the developers know this, because a lot of the player unlocks are just do a thing faster, move faster, collect ammo faster, collect items faster, throw things further. I don't want to dunk on the game the whole time here. I've given it a month to see what they've done, and they have updated some things. They've made progression a little bit better so you can unlock things faster. They've separated weapons and cosmetic unlocks so that you don't have to unlock a bunch of cosmetics to get to the weapons and vice versa. So they have done things, and they're continuing to do things, which is good. This is the first time that Remedy is making a multiplayer game like this. I commend them for trying to do this. They're branching out and doing something different, and that is worthy of, you know, noticing, of I wouldn't say praise, but the fact that they're putting in the effort is good, right? But my God, does this game need a lot of work. It doesn't feel like the developers play tested this at all. So I wanted to give a little update about what's going on with this game. I know that they still have post-release plans for new content. I don't know if that's still on track or if they're going to focus on other things. But the game is just not as fun as it should be. Like I said, it's slow, it's tedious, and I read this somewhere that they wanted this game to be something that people play casually and they don't grind for anything. But the way this is set up and how slow everything is, it feels like a grind. It feels like you have to play this a lot to get decent weapons and equipment, because they give you crappy versions of guns to start with and then expect you to work your way through to unlocking better versions of those weapons, and that's not casual player friendly. They have a fall update and a winter update planned, and then more updates in 2026. I'll check back with this when that fall update comes out. But I'm hoping they add more fun into the game, because it needs a ton of work. I hope they rework the perk system as well, because I am not excited to unlock picking up ammo boxes faster or reloading faster or throwing items further. Like that just doesn't get the blood pumping. I hope that Remedy can turn this around and make the game fun, but I gotta tell you, I'm so tired of games coming out and they're not done and they don't have everything that they should have. FBC Firebreak is like this, Killing Floor 3 is like this, and at least when, because I talk about early access games on this channel. At least with early access, I know up front that I'm getting an incomplete product, and I can evaluate it properly, knowing that it's not done. You go to the Steam page for FBC Firebreak, it doesn't say it's in early access because it's not in early access. Not officially, at least, but it feels like an early access game. And it's so tiring, you know, because I'm gonna sound really old now, but it used to be that when you put out a game, it goes on a disc or it goes on a cartridge, and your game had to be done. You had to get out all the bugs, or most of them, because games would come out on CD with bugs. But you had to make sure that the bugs were gone. All the content had to be there, because once it was on that disc or on that cartridge, that was it. They were not pushing online updates to a PlayStation 2, an N64, a GameCube. Like that was not a thing. And now it's been so normalized for these companies to put out a game, it's not done, and then you get like legions of people who are defending the game and defending a company for putting out something incomplete that is not what I as a consumer would expect a company to put out. And they just make so many excuses for this stuff, and I just don't get it. Like, you're not getting anything from the company for defending this sort of thing. I just don't get it. thank you for watching, and I'll circle back around to this game because it has some interesting ideas, but the execution is not great.